I'm Liz Luke, and I'm live at Fatman Fabrications today in Mint Hill, North Carolina. If you are into custom cars, vintage cars, classic cars, you probably have this man's catalog on your nightstand. Brent Vandervoort is the owner proprietor of Fatman Fabrications. Are you the Fat Man?
I am the Fat Man.
You're the Fat Man,
I'm
absolutely.
The Fat Man.
Tell us a little bit about what we do here at Fatman Fabrications.
Well, we began as doing cars for customers, and a lot of times we couldn't find what we needed. And some of what we could buy we weren't that happy with. So it started with one product and extended to where we build primarily suspension, front suspension, and some rear suspension stuff, and complete chassis for about any kind of car you want to talk to, from the 20s up into the 70s and 80s.
And what's your favorite type of car to work on?
The one I'm driving that day.
Really?
Yeah, 33 and 34 Fords are my special favorite.
How long does it take to customize a vehicle?
You got to really figure about 2 years on average.
Really?
Yeah, really.
And what's the price range that we're looking at?
You can probably do it for as little as 20, and if there's a top end, nobody's found it yet.
Really? Very good.
Yeah.
Are you going to take us in the shop in a little bit
Absolutely,
and show us something?
sure.
Okay, let's go to the shop.
Okay,
Okay,
sure.
Excellent.
This is the install shop where we work on customers' cars. We develop new products, prototype them, and make sure that they're actually fitting all the variations between cars.
Okay, very good. And what do we have here?
This is a good customer's 1940 Ford two-door sedan.
Oh, wow. Look at
Very
that.
pretty car, very pretty
Ooh.
teal and ivory paint.
Beautiful.
And this is here for some updating and improving. Very pretty on top, a little ugly on the bottom. There were some things that weren't the way they should be, functionally and aesthetically. So we've gone through and made improvements according to the customer's wishes, a new tilt steering column, improve the suspension, this sort of thing, to make it a nicer driver.
Sure. Now, what's this fella going to do with this car? Is he going to use it for show? Is he going to drive it around town? What's the purpose of a car like this?
It's really a kind of a dual purpose thing. Everybody likes to show them, everybody likes to win trophies,
Sure.
and some people the trophies mean more to than others. He wants a real nice car that he'll always be competitive on the show floor,
Nice.
but be able to drive it to and from the show. You can get them so nice, Liz, that you can't drive them anymore.
Right.
And there's kind of a continuum between radical and practical. And since this is a very subjective thing, there's no rules, in other words, every owner decides where he wants to be on that timeline. I have a very noisy, primered, loud, race-style 34 Ford, and have a very refined 1930 Buick, both ends of the spectrum.
Okay.
He's probably somewhere in the middle.
Okay, very good. Let's take a look throughout the shop. You were telling us that you've got cars in various stages of being put together, and some of them have pretty interesting stories. Like, for instance, this purple car right here. What's going on with this?
This is a 1953 Ford, belongs to a local fella. We have done a new front frame section on it. We built a new frame from here forward. It has all the mountings for the bumper and the radiator, so all the sheet metal bolts right back on. Put in motor mounts for a late model Ford engine. He's going to keep it all Ford.
Okay.
And then this will be returned to him. He'll do the finish on the engine as far as plumbing and wiring.
So basically, it's an older chassis with a brand new engine.
There you go. That's really what street rods are, is an old body with a new heart.
Okay.
I haven't had the new heart yet, but I've got the old body.
I'm thinking about that. Now here we've got one of your men is working on this vehicle. What's going to happen with this guy?
Yeah, Mike is putting a new quarter panel from Bob Drake Enterprises on there. It's amazing what you can buy for these cars now. In fact, the gentleman makes this black panel, this replacement panel. His goal is to build a complete 1940 Ford Coupe in steel for sale before he retires, and he's getting close. But this car belongs to a local fellow named Jim Jewell. He's owned the car for 35 years, on and off, through a couple different owners. And we got an interesting phone call from Humpy Wheeler, who runs the Lowe's Motor Speedway out here, little racetrack we got in Charlotte.
Just the small one.
Yeah, the little one. And he said, can we build a car at the Speedway? And I said, in 4 days during a show, no way. But we can take one apart and put it back together.
Okay.
So this is a perfect candidate, especially being an open car. They'll be able to see us working in here. But through the 4-day show, we will assemble the chassis, assemble the body, less the cosmetics.
Sure.
But with all the fab work done. So to see a car basically being built at the show.
That's really cool. So it's almost like a puzzle, putting the pieces together in front of your eyes.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Very cool. Now, how many customers do you average maybe in a year? Can you think off the top of your head?
We sell enough front-end kits to do about 4,500 cars a year.
Wow.
On an average year. As far as what goes through the shop here, probably 100, 120 cars.
And there's so much care with each car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have 42 employees here, but there's only 4 guys who ever really touch a customer's car. And they do a variety of sheet metal work and chassis work and assembly. We try not to do what we call a turnkey car,
Sure.
but we like to do all the welding and fabrication.
So every car is really a work of art and it's unique.
Very much sculpture. In fact, I've got a good friend that does raku pottery. He's had some work in the Smithsonian. And I did a 40 Ford sedan, chopped and sectioned, and all the sheet metal stuff done on it. And he referred to it as metal sculpture, and I never really thought about it that way.
I guess it is. It is a real piece of art.
It really is.
Brett Vandervoort, Fatman Fabrications, thank you for your time.
You bet.